mad, sad with the loss. Was not pleased with the way the game started. In any phases, we didn't start fast enough. Offense, defense, or special teams. We can't go out there and do things like that. I thought the defense really stepped it up really in the second half, and then our offense really didn't do much. We got to continue to execute better. We can't turn the ball over. We got to learn to start faster in all phases. We got to figure out a way. Obviously, we ran for over 200 yards, but we have to have that consistency throughout the third, fourth quarter when we needed it. We have to own the football and be smart with that. And defensively, we got to start faster. Special teams, we got to be smart in our return game, making sure we're not returning balls the end zone that put us in a detrimental position. But we got a lot of work to do. There's a lot of guys in the locker room, licking their wounds because they're not happy. They're not happy, and it starts with me. I got to look myself in the mirror and see what I got to do as the head coach to better prepare our team and make sure we are putting ourselves in a successful position, the way we practice, the way we do things, and when we step on the field on game day.
Hey, Stephen Johnson, go ahead.
Hey, Ryan, that slow start defensively, do you think that was kind of, was some of that expected rust, or was it just kind of something SMU was kind of just showing you guys early on?
No excuses. We're not going to use rust or anything of that nature. We've got to be able to execute, whether it's the call, the assignment, all around. We're not going to sit here and make excuses for anything. We just, we started off slow. We've seen that in back-to-back games, so we've got to figure out a way to make sure we're preparing our guys for those opening drives and making sure what we're doing, right? We got to find ways to get off the field on third down. We saw again in this game where, we had the quarterback in our grasp and allowed him to make plays and not be able to get off the field. Woulda, coulda, shoulda, but we've got to find a way to start a little bit faster on defense.
Terry Davis, go ahead.
How you doing, Coach?
Hey, Terry.
Hey, what do you contribute to offensive struggles in the second half to not getting the big play when you needed it, even though you got it most of the game, but when you needed to get it, you couldn't get it?
Yeah, credit to SMU. They had a good defensive game plan that stopped us. And again, that falls on me to not have a plan in place in order for us to be able to execute. We've got to find a way to be able to get things going, right? We can't go 3 and out, especially with a potent offense like them. We've got to be able to extend drives. They started low in the box. We got to win the one-on-ones, a combination of things. Obviously, we talk about just being able to sustain. And, we've got to become creative with our play packages, and we've got to execute the assignments a little bit better. But the credit goes to SMU and their defense, but we've got to do a better job as an offensive staff calling the plays and getting our guys in the right position. Again, that ultimately falls on me.
Jacob Rice, go ahead.
Hey, Coach. There were several things leading up to this game that you per se did not have control of, but how much of this game are you putting on yourself?
Anytime we lose, it's 100% on me. If we win, it's the players. And I firmly believe that this is my fault. The result. We were in it at the very end, but the preparation, right? It was different. Obviously, the 28 days off. But I'm not going to use that as an excuse. We got to be able to be creative. There's teams going through a lot of different things, and we're going to have another extended period before we get UCF here. And obviously, it's a great SMU team, right? They're 4-0, and they get full credit for it. But ultimately, I've got to do a better job of preparing, right? However we practiced, and if it means if we ever have limited practice time again, maybe think of different ways to do it. And then finding a way, right? Coming out of halftime, obviously it wasn't much. If you're a fan of offensive football, the second half wasn't a whole lot on display. In credit to our defense, but again, SMU did a great job stifling us, and but ultimately the loss falls on me, and I've got to do a better job in all 3 phases.
Thank you, Coach.
Brian Moss.
Hey, Coach, I know hindsight's always 20/20, but on the play call where Brady got pressure and fumbled, was there any thought to just run the ball down, just keep running it until, it was time to kick a field goal?
Yeah, well, where we were on the field, there was some thoughts. We thought it was a safe play, right? I can't remember exactly what yard line that was on, Brian, but we knew we were getting close to it where we need to be for Riley's leg. But we talk about owning the football, and that's ultimately what we have to do at all times, at all costs. So, ball security's got to be an issue for us, right? If that ball hopefully isn't fumbled, maybe we're talking a different story here. But we could talk about the play calling there and just say that maybe we should have just ran the ball to try to own it and be safe. But also where we were in field goal range, I know it would have been a heck. I know Riley's a great kicker, and we've got complete faith in him. But we're trying to get a little bit more yardage.
Evan Barnes.
Ryan, I know you say you don't want to give any excuses, but given the layoff and everything, can you take away some positive, at least from maybe how you guys ran the ball, how you were able to kind of contain SMU for that second half until that final drive? Is that something you guys can try to build on heading into this off week?
I believe the score, Evan, was 17-3 at the end of the first quarter. So I was proud of the way the guys responded in that second quarter, right? Their fight and their mindset to, hey, we got to dig ourselves out of a hole. Obviously, I never want to be in a hole. We played a lot of different guys on defense. I'm sure you guys saw that, a rotation. I don't know how many different guys we played at linebacker and D-line. I mean, almost the entire defensive travel squad ended up playing. And so hopefully that bodes well later in the season. And then, offensively, we got things we got to continue to work on. It was great to have a nice rushing attack in the first half. But, again, ultimately, I need to come up with some better answers in the second half to find ways to be creative so we can keep running the football.
Christian Fowler.
Coach, you said you were proud of the way that the guys battled back after falling down. What does it say about the locker room and the players that they were able to come back from a 21-point deficit and have a chance to win the game at the end?
Look, I love the men in our locker room. We believe in each other. I told them that, right, we faced adversity, and we have faced adversity like people all throughout the country, since this pandemic and other things are occurring in our society. And obviously we've had unusual circumstances over the past month for a college football team. And I said, the adversity makes us stronger. And I looked at them, each one of them, how their heads held high in the locker room. Yes, there were some tears, some broken hearts, but I told them we still got a lot of football left, right? This one game doesn't define us. I'm proud of them for the way they battled, but we got full faith moving forward in what we need to do. Our guys, I use the mantra all in, as you know, and I firmly believe that we have a locker room of men that are all in and want to continue to get better. And I told them each person needs to look in the mirror and see what we can do to get better. It starts with me.
Steven Johnson.
Ryan, you guys were able to get Jacoby back. I know he kind of gave with the big play. Well, kind of gave with the big play earlier, but overall, how was it just kind of having him back, and what kind of impact did he just have on the secondary and defense in general?
Well, Jacoby's a fantastic player and a great leader. I'm sure, as you guys saw, also he was out part of the game. He missed most of the third quarter. So, but it was good to have him back. He does a wonderful job. Look, it's a talented. They made some big plays. We knew they had talent at wide receiver, tight end, and running back. Obviously, the defense did a nice job versus their run game, but we can't give up those big passes, right? Those short screens that go for long yardage, and the chunk plays over our heads. So, but Jacoby's one of those guys that I know, if anything, tonight he'll be watching the game film. He'll be in the office early, ready to roll, trying to improve his game.
Jacob Rice, last question.
Coach, putting this on yourself, does that help your players go into next week knowing that they played well, or is there something that you're reminding them of that they can carry themselves throughout this next week against a big UCF team?
Well, ultimately, because of our locker room, they don't sit there and point the finger at me, which I don't mind if they do. But they know that I got to do a better job. It starts with me getting better and putting them in positions. But they all know what we need to do to prepare better, to work harder, watch more film, take care of our bodies better. and have a great week of preparation. And that's the nice thing, is the resolve of our young men is there, and I wholeheartedly believe in them. And so, I don't, when we get on the plane today, they know that there's things that we need to correct. Obviously, we've got a lot of film to watch, plenty of plays to be watched and learn from. And that's the thing, is our guys will be eager to watch that, to learn from it. We're going to meet with the team tomorrow afternoon and show them the good, the bad, and the ugly. And ultimately, right, any of those things that I put in a bad spot, I own up to. And I think that's one of the reasons we have a mutual respect between our players and I, is because I'll let them know, hey, I've got to do a better job. But they end up looking back and saying, Coach, we got your back, and we're going to continue to work hard, because they weren't all perfect. That's the reality of it. And we've got to, as an entire team, as a Memphis football program, find ways to continue to improve.